Got news in the pod industry brewing here. Canadian cannabis giant Canopy Growth close to a deal with Acreage Holdings, one of the largest cannabis operators in the United States, also known as a multi-state operator because they've got licenses in many different states. The companies have been in talks for almost 2 weeks, and as I understand it, they have signed off on the deal, both on the Canopy side, the Acreage side, as well as the New York Stock Exchange side, in the wee hours of this morning, just about a couple of hours ago. As the deal is structured, as we understand it right now, it would involve the right to acquire in full Acreage Holdings. Those shares would not be transferred or monetized until U.S. federalization of weed, is finalized, either that or when Canopy decides at some point after that. That was a blueprint that Canopy used for past potential deals which have fallen through. They made an approach to at least one other multi-state operator here in the United States to use this structure to actually acquire a company here. And of course, this sort of gets around the restrictions that companies have when they're listed on the New York Stock Exchange to actually buy a company where the weed business is illegal in the United States. So this is, as we understand it right now, there will be a peg that will be announced as well. We should get the details later on this morning. The last deal was, for instance, pegged at 65% of a Canopy Growth stock to one share of that potential takeover stock. So we'll get that detail, but effectively this will peg Acreage Holdings stock to Canopy stock once that peg is set, and presumably that will have Acreage Holdings basically track Canopy Growth shares once the deal is announced.
You are like an expert on this. This is amazing.
Yep,
so
we have
we have the person here that well, you've been doing it all week. But so they've done these acquisitions. They've done roll-ups. Is this a new name for a roll-up? Is that a different? Can we? This is a roll-up, sort of, or no?
It's a roll-up in the world of high finance.
420 is Saturday. I finally figured out why. Fast Money is having
Weed Week leading up to.
But it's
Saturday.
weird that this happened. It fell right into your lap, and now we're going to have the CEOs on.
They've been talking for 2 weeks. These two companies have been talking for 2 weeks. Canopy Growth has actually approached at least one other multi-state operator here in the United States with the same exact deal structure. They figured this out with a bunch of bankers and lawyers in order to get around the restrictions on a U.S.-listed company to acquire another U.S. company here. The more important ramification of this is to the other multi-state operators that are listed for trade. It has always been thought that these multi-state operators trade at a discount because banking is not open to them here in the United States. Only in Canada is banking open to them. So they trade at a discount. And here there is a way to inject capital in them, have some sort of backing for them to acquire other licenses. And theoretically, that discount to the Canadian equivalent companies will now close. So we've seen the multi-state operators overnight. When we had first reported this deal last night on Fast Money, we've seen them trade higher across the board. And we know that Canopy had been on the search desperately, maybe, for a target in the United States because they've talked to at least one other company, and the deal fell through. That deal fell through at the very last minute. But here we understand that final sign-off happened at around 10 to 5 in the morning.